Hello and welcome to the Saket Bhatia Show, which we air every Tuesday from 4 to 5 p.m. This is one of a kind astrology show, which we refer to as the Pragmatic Astrology and Life Coaching Show. यहाँ पे हम एक deep dive लेते हैं into the world of astrology, numerology and life coaching with a very, very fresh perspective and real discussions about what real solutions look like, and we're here to bust some myths. So how are you doing, Dr. Saket Bhatia, today?
I'm doing very well. How are you?
I'm good. आपको कैसा लग रहा है? आज का temperature सब कुछ ठीक है?
Everything is perfect, just like last time.
Just like last time.
Yes.
Very good. I guess with a life coach like perspective, every day seems rosy for you, isn't it?
You have to be optimistic.
You have to be optimistic. Yeah, and I think that optimistic note is what we ended our last show on, if you remember, right? You spoke about, I remember the famous quote that you made that, you don't need an astrologer to become a millionaire, but you need an astrologer to take that person from a millionaire to billionaire. Do you remember that quote?
Yes, that's by J.P. Morgan, correct.
Yes, and I think that's a wonderful note. So let's start on a note of optimism. Of course, I think listeners, अगर आप सुन रहे हैं, by the way, मैं याद दिला दूँ, आप हमें Facebook Live पे भी देख सकते हैं on the Radio Zindagi page. You can see how Dr. Saket Bhatia looks like, और मैं हूँ उनके साथ आपकी इश्की मिश्की RJ Rosh. So we are here in the studio today. We will be taking live calls. मैं आपको याद दिला दूँ, स्टूडियो का नंबर है 4086395300. And if you want to check out more information about Dr. Saket Bhatia, you can directly go to his website, which is saketbhatia.com, और उनका email है info@saketbhatia.com. With all that out of the way, Saket ji, let's start our show. मुझे याद है last week rather, very same time, very same time, 4 to 5 p.m. when we spoke about astrology and charts and things like that. We ended it on charts, kind of. We spoke about charts. We didn't quite finish the segment. So let's begin from there again. जो question बहुत होता है, basic question about what is a birth chart.
Correct. So, birth chart में dive करने से पहले, what I want to do is first, let's just touch base on हमने कल last time क्या बात की थी, and then we'll stretch forward into birth chart as well.
Sure.
But just to answer your question, right? ये birth chart क्या होती है? Lots of people come to me and say, okay, ये हमारी birth chart है. They get a book, किताब होती है, उसमें at least 20, 25, 30 charts होती है. So when you're handing me a birth chart, it's not a piece of paper. Remember that. It is a symbolic representation of your life. It tells us who you are, what has happened to you in your past life, और इस जन्म में क्या होगा. So we'll dive into birth chart, लेकिन उससे पहले I want to touch base कि हमने last time क्या बात की थी. We spoke about a few topics. We spoke about God. Remember we said in God we trust, how the US government has placed its political and economic control and said we believe that God will, भगवान के हाथ में है, and let's see what happens. We also spoke about time, which constantly changes, and I ended by saying जब टाइम चेंज होता है तो सितारे बदलते हैं, जब सितारे बदलते हैं तो आपका भी माइंड बदलता है और आपकी डेस्टिनी बदलती है. So everything changes with time. Today could be a good day, tomorrow could be even better. If today is bad, tomorrow could be better. So have faith in yourself, have faith in God, and have faith in time.
Absolutely. Have faith in God, have faith in time, and have faith in yourself and your own abilities, right?
Correct.
Which God has kind of given you. तो मैं याद दिला दूँ मेरे listeners को कि at any time you can call our studio number, which is 510-770-1550. We will be taking calls and we will be listening more to Dr. Saket Bhatia. So, Saket ji, so you spoke about optimism and, birth charts. But एक key distinction hai between between astrology, right? Astrology is of course common in the world, in all, I mean, I think in multiple religions also there are astrologers,
Sure.
and not just in Hinduism. So what are the differences, right? Like, what are the differences between Eastern and Western astrology?
So when you're talking about Western astrology, you're talking about more like the astrology in America, which is more like a psychic-based astrology. Indian astrology is also called Jyotish. We call it Vedic astrology. The term Vedic is very important because our knowledge of astrology has come from the Vedas. So differences ये हैं कि Western astrology is more of entertainment, while Eastern astrology, the Vedic astrology, is a true science. Eastern or Western में ये भी फर्क होता है कि Western astrology is about a few hundred years old. It was part of Greece, maybe 1,000 years old. Vedic astrology, on the other hand, it's about 5,000 years old or 10,000 years old. Chart calculations में बहुत फर्क है. Vedic astrology 5,000 years ago said the earth goes around the sun in an elliptical orbit, and Western astrology thought it goes in a circular orbit. तो इसकी वजह से over time there has been differences, and Western astrology is actually 24 degrees incorrect compared to Western Vedic astrology. So if you are, let's say आपका sun is placed at 29 degrees today in Western, in Vedic it's actually going to be 5 degrees. Vedic is more accurate. Vedic believes in a complete house system कि अगर आपका planet कहीं placed है, then the whole house is impacted by that particular planet. But in Western astrology that's not the case, and they give more emphasis to sun and moon as opposed to us. Also retrograde planets, which you asked last time.
Yeah.
In Vedic astrology, retrograde is time for reconsidering your karmas. In Western astrology, it is more about sort of, let's Mercury retrograde hai, maybe you'll have speech defects at this time, ki business acha nahi chalega, that kind of stuff. So it's entertainment versus science.
Entertainment versus science. Wow, that's a pretty provocative way of putting it. But हम अभी ले लेंगे एक छोटा सा call because there is a listener that has dialed in with a burning question. So let's see what she has in store for us.
Sure.
Hello, listener. Hi. You can ask your question now to Dr. Saket Bhatia.
Hello, Dr. Saket Bhatia. This is Ekta, and it's a very nice show. I listened to you last week also, and I had called in also. So it's very nice. It's very different it's a very different thing that I'm hearing personally as about astrology. So congratulations for that.
Thank you.
And another thing which really surprised me is like when you were talking about a PhD degree in astrology. That is something like I personally have never heard about. So
Okay.
Because what I've heard is Hindi, Sanskrit, English, math, and even electrical or electronics, something like that you mentioned. So can you expand a little bit about what is this? Do we have a PhDs in astrology, and then if yes, then how? Is it in India, US, or how does it work? And where did you get it from?
So there are very many ways you can get your PhD in astrology. I'm not familiar with PhD in numerology. Just like you have life coaching certification, same way you can get a certification in astrology. PhD करने के लिए I'm not familiar with any US-based organization which does that. India में you have University of Bombay which does it. You have Bharati Vidya Bhavan from where I came from. That's run by Mr. Rao, who is a world famous astrologer. Every year we get about 4,000 students who graduate from that college. तो वहाँ की degree है हमारी, and I've got it many years ago. The whole course can take you as much as 4 to 8 years.
Okay.
Although it is said it's a 4-year course, it just takes a little longer, just because you have to go through the whole process of trying to write a thesis and then understanding and reading charts and so on.
तो आप जैसे आप thesis की बात करें तो आपकी भी कोई specialization होगी फिर thesis में?
Yes, my specialization is there, correct, and it's primarily related to 6th house, which was my stuff. But I don't specialization जब school में होती है, that's what you specialize in. But astrology is such a diverse field that it would be hard to focus all your effort, energy just on one house. So the 6th house, which is the house of serving people, or the house of disease, that's what I specialized in. But there is obviously a lot more we do.
Perfect. Okay, so thank you so much. That's nice to know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you, caller. So lot of curiosity, Dr. Saket Bhatia, around your educational background. That is always very, very fascinating to me. But moving on, हम बात कर रहे थे about Eastern and Western, astrology, and you basically said ended on a very provocative statement, which is entertainment versus science. So on that note, मैं पूछना चाहूँगी about a very similar topic. like they say that there is this saying that astrologers reveals the will of the gods.
Correct.
और गॉड मैन जो हमारे हैं इंडिया में, ऐसे बहुत सारे गॉड मैन हैं who are notorious for doing things, for doing miracles, जो दिखाते हैं जादू वादू. तो आप अपने आप को उस गॉड मैन वाले कैटेगरी में डालते हो? Like how do you internally think about your role in this society, like आपने last time कहा था कि doctors save lives,
Yes.
lawyers take you out of sticky situations, teachers impart education, astrologers do what?
So the job of an astrologer is simple. They help you plan your life. आपकी लाइफ में कल क्या हुआ था, आज क्या होगा और कल क्या होगा. That's what we're supposed to do. That's what we're supposed to tell you. It's not a God gift. And coming back to your question, आपने question पूछा कि what about those babas in India? बाबा तो यहाँ भी हैं. Rajneesh was here.
Rajneesh Osho was here.
We
yeah.
still have many people. We don't want to name them. We have one who's taken his own country and run away. Nityanand. I mean,
Ji,
there's a
ji.
follower, but I'm no one to judge them. But none of them are astrologers. These are all spiritual gurus. देखिए, astrologer इनमें से एक नहीं था जो आपकी कुंडली पढ़ता था. There was not one of them who told you what will happen to you tomorrow. They kept only talking about God and how you need to give yourself to Him because He's God or She's God and that kind of stuff. तो जो godmen होते हैं, they definitely you have to stay away. But unfortunately, we are weak-minded people. We are going through hardships in life. We're going through difficulties, and that causes all kinds of problems. उसमें we get brainwashed, we get scared, and ये direction उस direction में जाते हैं, पता नहीं होता क्या है. So I also say one more thing to people that come to meet me. I say astrology is a science. Problem astrology में नहीं है. Problem astrologers में है. So astrology is valid. Astrologers, when they tend to break the rules, that's when issues happen. अभी काफ़ी बार I've heard people come to me and saying ये मेरी chart है, मेरा जो मंगल है वो अस्त है. People say अरे अस्त हो गया तो what? I don't have any willpower to fight. I won't be able to do anything in life. No, that's not true. A combust planet is only combust if the sun happens to be lord of a difficult house. If the planet is well placed, the effect of combustion becomes less. Also, जो combust planet होता है, it doesn't impact wealth or success. It impacts family, relations and your health only. And then obviously you can take care of your health. अगर आपको पहले ही पता चल गया है कि this is the problem, you can fix it. So don't worry. Astrology has one beauty thing. It never denies. It can delay, it can make you suffer, but deny nahi karta. Nobody can look at your chart and say ki no, you're not going to make money. Sawal hi nahi uthta. Impossible. Astrology never denies.
Wow.
It will tell you aap kitna banaoge. That's why in my last show I said astrology is like a weighing scale. When you watch those Hindi movies, wahan par weighing scale hota hai, कानून के. Same way astrology also has that. And agar life mein aapko satisfaction chahiye na, then you have to do expectation versus acceptance. दोनों करने पड़ेंगे. Accept what you have in life and expect other stuff. आप expect करोगे कि हमारी लॉटरी लगी, नहीं लगी. Accept it, move on. आप expect करोगे कि हमारा business flourish होगा, छोटा रह गया, move on. What about the other things जो आपको life में मिली हैं? Why don't you focus on that? Why don't people start getting grateful for what they have in life? Be happy, be content. That's what I'm trying to tell you. आप खुश रहोगे तो आपकी family खुश रहेगी. ये जो energy है, it is never created, right? There's a concept, right, that energy can only be
Transformed,
Yes.
from one form to the other.
आप खुश रहोगे, लोग खुश रहेंगे.
And that is pure science.
That's pure science.
Right.
It's the same with this. आप खुश रहोगे, आपकी family members खुश रहेंगे, आपका mind खुश रहेगा, सब खुश रहेंगे. Right? So astrology is again all about the mind. काफी बार इंडिया में आप एग्जाम से पहले जाओगे तो they give you दही शक्कर.
हाँ.
Why दही शक्कर? कभी सोचा है? What
नहीं.
is the significance?
नहीं.
Dahi is white. Same as the moon. Moon is your mind. Astrology में we have to make sure कि आपका जो mind है, that is in a state in which it is able to give you what you want. Your mind is at peace. Your mind is able to absorb. इसलिए they give you sugar. It's an astrology. It's a thing. कि it makes your moon stronger. It makes your focus better. It makes your attention better. It makes you deliver better. And by the way, moon is also the planet for mother. It is also the planet for property. It is also the planet for fame.
Isn't it also the planet for craziness, like lunatic? It comes from Luna, right?
So, moon itself will not cause that. Effects on the moon will cause that. हम discuss करेंगे. We have hundreds or thousands of charts actually of people in mental asylums. We see a very common effect of moon being attacked by Rahu at that time or by Saturn. जब moon देखो, moon can be either benefic or malefic. अच्छा, and we will dive into all those things because astrology में क्या है, there are नव ग्रह होते हैं, there are 9 planets and then there are 12 houses. ये 12 घर जो होते हैं, everything of your life is in that. Now if a house is impacted, for example, let's say आपका 4th house impacted है, that's your house of property, car, mother, happiness, degree जो आप लोगे स्कूल में, does it mean all of them are going to get ruined? No. Which one of them will get impacted? 1, 2, 3, some of them. One house can symbolize hundreds or thousands of different things, right? So same way with the planet. जो planet होता है वो, it signifies many different things. A planet when placed in a house takes its properties with it and takes the properties of the house it owns, and काफी complicated है. So over a period of time I'm going to try explaining these factors. जैसे आप डॉक्टर के पास जाते हो, right, in a hospital, the first thing the doctor is going to do is he's going to check your with a stethoscope वो check करेंगे vitals, and then he's going to check your pulse rate. After that he's going to check, you know, your eyes or ears, and he'll say everything looks okay, and then he's going to say go get some other test done, which is normal. You're going to ask him क्यों कर रहे हैं हम ये टेस्ट, आप बोलेंगे well cholesterol करना है, blood pressure करना है, जो भी है, blood sugar करना है, urine sample लेना है. Same way with an astrologer. You can call and we can look at your chart and say overall yes, it's strong, it looks okay, but then you have to give us time. We also need to go back and study. Did you know कि astrology में there are 20 charts जो हमें पढ़नी पड़ती है. Each chart is related to a different thing. तो आप फोन कर सकते हो, we can answer basic questions, but अगर डिटेल में आपको आंसर चाहिए, that takes time. That is going to take a whole different ball game. We have to go into it, we have to understand कि क्या impact है उसके ऊपर, and believe me, it takes us about 1 to 2 hours just to read a chart.
Yeah, absolutely. But one thing which I'm really liking that's consistently been the theme across all of your segments and topics is that astrology gives you hope. I love the fact that you said that it doesn't deny, it helps you plan your life. कि होगा whatever आपकी मन की इच्छा है, जो आप करना चाहते हो, ambitions है, लेकिन astrology or the astrologer you know, will coach you into what is the right time. और उसी के साथ we actually have another caller online which we will take right now. So देखते हैं उनका क्या burning question है. Okay, you're on air right now.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello,
Hi.
Ekta. Hi. What's your question?
Yeah, hi, Saket ji. Sorry, I called again. तो मुझे बस एक और पूछना था कि ये जो PhD के डिग्री के बारे में हम बात कर रहे थे, तो ये वाली जो इंस्टीट्यूट आपने बताया, ये क्या UHC accredited होते हैं? क्योंकि I have somebody who is like works there, because so इसलिए मैं खुद के लिए भी पता करी थी. So I never knew that these are these USC accredited universities?
You can just contact our office. We'll get back to you. आप मुझे phone कर लीजिए. We can have this call offline as well.
अच्छा. क्योंकि मैं भी वेबसाइट पे भी जाके देख रही थी. I didn't find anything there.
Yeah, I'm sure you can find that information, and if it's not there, I think you know, Dr. Saket Bhatia will make sure that his admin team puts it up there. But thank you so much for the question, Ekta. We hope you'll call back again with maybe, you know, things that impact your day-to-day life. For now, we'll move on to the next topic. ठीक है? Thank you so much for calling. Bye bye.
Thank you so much.
बहुत curiosity है. This is so funny, you know. I'll tell you one thing. कि मैं बंगाल से हूँ. I'm a Bengali. तो वहाँ पे you know, Bengalis are known to be intellectuals, you know, intellectuals. तो एक चीज़ बहुत funny है. जब भी कोई दो बंगाली मिलते हैं, they're very curious कि आपका you know educational background क्या है. It's almost like a different caste. It's so funny. It's actually very hilarious. मैं एक food channel follow करती हूँ. It's called Bongies, जिसमें authentic Bengali food दिया जाता है. और उसमें भी वो लोग एक बार ऐसे live जा रहे थे. You know, they were Q&A, और लोग हर जाति के लोग पूछ रहे थे अबाउट रेसिपीज एंड थिंग्स लाइक दैट, लेकिन जो बंगाली लोग थे वो यही पूछ रहे थे कि आपने कहाँ से पढ़ाई की है. सो इट इज एक क्वेश्चन रिमाइंडेड मी ऑफ दैट. बट मैं मेरे लिसनर्स को फिर से याद दिला देती हूँ कि स्टूडियो का नंबर है 5107701550. सो प्लीज डू कॉल इन विथ योर बर्निंग क्वेश्चंस, होपफुली क्वेश्चंस पर्टेनिंग टू योरसेल्फ. अगर आपको कुछ गाइडेंस चाहिए, कुछ इंटरेस्टिंग से सवाल अगर आपके पास है, अगर आप हेजिटेट कर रहे हो किसी और से पूछने के लिए, आप डॉक्टर साकेत भाटिया को पूछ सकते हैं. ही इज ऑफ कोर्स extremely welcoming and extremely amicable and will answer your questions with extreme honesty and authenticity. So so Saket ji, हाँ, हम बात कर रहे थे about philosophy and about like how things can change.
Yes.
And the astrologer gives you hope. तो एक बात बताइए, I mean of course you spoke a lot about specifics about कुछ कोई planet अस्त जा रहा है एक retrograde एक layman के लिए such as myself ये समझना बहुत मुश्किल होता है. लेकिन एक चीज जो हम समझ सकते हैं कि ये चार्ट बुलंद है कि नहीं, अपना चार्ट स्ट्रांग है कि वीक है. तो what makes a chart strong, what makes a chart weak, like उसका significance क्या है, मतलब एकदम simple terms में आप अगर layman के लिए समझाएं.
So a simple layman के लिए, when we analyze a chart, we first you look at the ascendant. Ascendant जो सबसे ऊपर होता है, that's called ascendant. If the ascendant is aspected by the Lord or it is aspected by Jupiter only, that is considered a strong chart. Okay, it's very rare that the house will be aspected by the Lord and Jupiter. Almost never happens. This defines a strong chart. इसके बाद we then start looking at the other houses in the chart, especially the 1, 4, 7 and 10 houses जो अंदर के घर होते हैं. अगर उनमें benefic planets, which are good planets, are placed, then the chart is considered stronger. If negative planets are considered there, then think of it as a boat with holes, which is trying to sink. If there are no planets in there, it becomes little weaker. Then we have to see कि planets की degrees क्या हैं. We have to see कि जो lords हैं वो कहाँ बैठे हैं. Are they sitting in 6, 8, 12 houses, which are considered, I wouldn't say bad houses, but suffering houses, दुस्ताना houses कहते हैं हम उनको. Then we also have to see कि conjunction में कौन से planets बैठे हैं, and importantly कौन से planet की दशा चल रही है. हो सकता है कि king is born. For example, I'll give you an example. जहांगीर ने ताजमहल बनाया, right? या शाहजहां ने ताजमहल बना दिया. Now you could say he had a very strong chart. He was born in a royal family. He did that. But at the end of the day, his son put him in prison and said, देखो आप यही देखो. तो was that a strong chart? Was it a weak chart? It's hard to say, right?
Yeah.
कोई बोल सकता है कि वो king थे. He had influence over so many lives in a positive way. It's a strong chart. But no chart is strong. No chart is weak. I mean, भगवान राम की chart देख लो.
हाँ जी.
Right? It's a very spiritual chart. It's born as a king. He's born as a ruler. He's born as somebody who's impart his wisdom to everybody else. He's born as somebody who will be remembered for thousands and thousands of years, eternity. But look at the relations with the wife, or look at the relation that he had with the kids. I say relation with wife because wife ke saath to, he never really enjoyed living in a kingdom. As far as kids go, how many people have a war with their own kids, right? So is that a strong chart or a weak chart?
Yeah, it's all about how you look at it.
Exactly. Charts are not strong, they're not weak. Every chart is good. Every chart is good. No chart is bad. Remember that. But हमारी expectations ही unrealistic होती है, हम क्या करें? That's what causes a problem. दशा important है. Planets जो होते हैं ना चार्ट में, they form yogs. बहुत लोग आते हैं बोलते हैं हमारा राज योग है, हमारा कुछ हो क्यों नहीं रहा. You have to understand जो राज योग है, that is दशा dependent. जब planet की दशा आती है तभी planet उठता है. It does stuff, then it goes back to sleep. There are some yogs which are permanent and there are some yogs which are temporary. तो ये भी देखना पड़ता है. When you read astrology, these are very critical things. It's not as easy as हमने चार्ट देख ली हो गया. No, there are many more influences. Majority astrologers देखते हैं आज की डेट में. Will I get a job? They look at your 10th house. Jupiter है उसके ऊपर, हाँ मिल जाएगी. उसके लॉर्ड है, हाँ मिल जाएगी. दशा है, मिल जाएगी. But is it true? What about the other influences on that?
Yeah.
You have to analyze the whole thing.
Right.
Right?
तो एक बात बताइए, ये तो बहुत क्वेश्चन होता है. मेरा शो भी है फ्राइडे शाम 7 बजे होता है, इश्क वाला लव, जहाँ लोग ऐसे जो ऑफ कोर्स इन रिलेशनशिप है वो तो usually खुशी रहते हैं, but there are a lot of people who are still looking for their soulmates. तो ये भी astrology में hint रहता है हमारे chart में कि हमारी soul, the concept of soulmate. First of all, let me ask from the start from the very basics. Does the concept of soulmate make sense? Like हमारे सबके लिए क्या एक soulmate होता है जिनको हम that we should wait for to find in this lifetime?
Concept है, but it doesn't say you will meet them. It doesn't say you have to find them. That's why so many people get married. They're not happy. Is that their soulmate?
No.
Some people don't get married at all. Does that mean they have no soulmate?
वही तो, that is the burning question. मतलब soulmate है आप कह रहे हैं,
है.
लेकिन मिलना
मिलना is
तकदीर
up
की
to
बात
you.
है.
ना
अच्छा,
ना तकदीर पे मत छोड़िए.
अच्छा.
It's up to you.
Okay.
आपके पर. Last time मैंने क्या कहा था? I said people make decisions based on the information they have available at that time. That's how you find your partner. You find your soulmate. आपने शादी की या नहीं की. अगर आपकी शादी उससे नहीं हुई, there must be somebody else out there. But there always is somebody out there for you. You hear of elderly couples, of an older man meeting somebody in his 60s, 70s, 80s, and they're happy. Why? कोई तो मिला ना. See, at the end of the day, you don't want to just... Soulmate does not necessarily have to be partner. It could be a family
It
member.
could be a friend.
It could be a friend. It could be family member. It could be anybody. There are so many people. वो कौन है? Bollywood में actors who Sanjay Leela Bansali. He lives with his mother. He's content with mother. He's very happy with mother. Then think of that as a very precious relationship he has. So a soulmate doesn't always have to be a person of opposite gender. It could be a best friend.
Yeah, and I remember you mentioned something about in the first show about the pursuit of happiness. कि life की goal क्या होना चाहिए? एक तो है कि to bring us closer to God,
Yes.
and the other is everyone wants to be happy because no one wants to be consciously sad, right?
Correct.
So I guess if you meet your soulmate means somebody who makes your soul happy. I mean layman terms में मैं बोल रही हूँ, simple terms में. So that's nice to know.
See, life में you want to do better. You want to achieve more. सबको तरक्की करनी है लाइफ में, बट सही तरीके से करो तो आ जाएगी, गलत तरीके से करो तो भी आ सकती है, बट यू विल लूज समथिंग.
Right. Everything comes at a cost.
Everything in life comes at a cost.
Yes.
You have kids today, it comes at a cost too. You have friends, it comes at a cost. Relations with family comes at a cost. Everything has something associated with it. And the beauty of this whole life is ये जो कर्मा है, destiny है, God places you and tells you to choose. You're free to choose. आपने अगर ये चॉइस ली, इसका मतलब ये नहीं कि आपकी लाइफ पूरी चेंज हो जाएगी. ही इज गोइंग टू गिव यू अनदर टास्क which was predetermined for you, जो आपके सामने आएगा. That's why people start businesses and then it fails. And then sometimes they do something, it doesn't work out in life. Or even after working out, it doesn't work out after some time. Ups and downs रहती हैं लाइफ में. I don't know anybody जिसकी लाइफ या completely downhill जाती है या completely uphill जाती है. It never happens.
Right. So the broad strokes are there, but your individual choices matter. The free will part of it matter करता है. तो मैं याद दिला दूँ मेरे listeners को once again, you can of course see us live on Radio Zindagi Facebook page. आप देख सकते हैं डॉक्टर साकेत भाटिया जिनका बहुत ही calming presence है. मैं गारंटी दे सकती हूँ क्योंकि मुझे शो की बिगिनिंग में बहुत गर्मी लग रही थी because टेम्परेचर बहुत ज़्यादा है, लेकिन अभी मैं सडनली बहुत calm and cool feel कर रही हूँ. So you can watch us, but also you can call us at a studio number which is 510-770-1550. I repeat, our studio number is 510-770-1550. You're listening to the Saket Bhatia Show, the pragmatic show on astrology, numerology, and life coaching. So, Saket ji, now moving on to a thoda sa different but still a related topic. There's astrology and there's numerology, and you clarify the difference between them because, the birth date वो मैटर करता है ना न्यूमरोलॉजी में. तो एक टर्म है which is called AstroNumero Life Coaching. तो ये क्या होता है और नॉर्मल लाइफ कोचिंग से ये कितना डिफरेंट है? बिकॉज लाइफ कोचेस भी आजकल बहुत है, दे आर स्प्रिंगिंग अप हियर एंड देयर एवरीवेयर, एंड वी वर जस्ट चैटिंग अबाउट इट बिफोर आवर शो. सो व्हाट इज द डिफरेंस बिटवीन अ नॉर्मल लाइफ कोच एंड अ AstroNumero लाइफ कोच?
So there are 23,000 life coaches in America. The average life coach makes between $75,000 and $150,000. So life coaching में क्या है? It's more of a motivational thing. It's a life change thing. If you're having issues in your marriage life, you can go to a life coach who will tell you, spend more time with your partner, give more time to your house, go out, and then they'll start calling you back every month talking about the exact same thing. Try to make each other happy. Same way agar aapka career hai, people come and say, I'm just an engineer, I'm not going anywhere in my life, mujhe manager hona chahiye tha, my friend is a manager, why am I still stuck, all my friends are doing better. Then life coaching tells you, okay, maybe you should look for a better job, maybe you should enhance your skills by going to school. It's all about motivation. That's life coaching.
I'm actually surprised people actually come to you and say that मैं manager क्यों नहीं बन पा रहा हूँ. क्योंकि
Not
ये बहुत मैंने सुना है, बट दिस इज लाइक एविडेंस, बिकॉज ये ना हमारे देसी लोग में बहुत ज़्यादा होता है कि एवरीवन थिंक्स कि मैनेजर इज़ अ मोर प्रेस्टिजियस पोजीशन देन एन इंडिविजुअल कंट्रीब्यूटर. हालांकि टेक वर्ल्ड में ऐसा होता नहीं है. मतलब सम आईसीज मेक अ लॉट मोर मनी देन मैनेजर्स, एंड यू मीन फॉर व्हाट इट्स वर्थ they have more flexibility. I mean, I'm a manager right now, a software engineering manager, and the amount of stress that I have to deal with is like crazy. You know, I honestly often think, why did I leave my life as an IC and become a manager? But yeah, please continue.
So again, you said something ki I'm a manager and Indians want to become managers and
Huh.
it's more money. It's not always about money. देखिए, you're influencing lives. Don't forget that. The person who runs the company, people who run Google, yes, they have stock options, but for years उनकी salary तो कुछ भी नहीं थी. वो आज तक $1 लेते हैं. उन्होंने stock सारे बेचे नहीं हैं. So same way, there are people who take chances in life. They start businesses, they don't take any money out of it. They just want the business to grow. Sometimes 5 साल कुछ नहीं होता, 10 साल नहीं होता, and then when everything goes well, then you go like, oh, they've made it well. But they go through a lot of suffering too. So people don't come to me. They don't necessarily come to me and say, I want to become a manager. Very rare. Because this AstroNumero Life Coaching is something very different. हम 15 मिनट आपसे पहले बात करते हैं. We try to figure out, are we even going to be on the same page? Because a life coach is like a therapist, right? Where you have to sit with them, you have to gel. Connection होना चाहिए. अगर connection नहीं है तो it's not worth it.
मतलब वाइब चेक यहाँ पे भी होता है.
Vibe check from your perspective, not from ours.
अच्छा.
हमने as an astrologer and numerologist, we ask you in advance, भाई give us your chart. हम आपकी chart पढ़ लेते हैं. And then you ask us a question. And you can come and say, you're a manager in a software company, right? आप आके बोलोगे यार मुझे डॉक्टर बनना है, सर्जन बनना है. हम आपकी चार्ट देख के कहेंगे that's not possible. No life coach is going to say no. They'll say please pay us the thousands of dollars. We will guide you how to become. Go back to school. हम नहीं बोलेंगे. We'll say it's not in your chart. You can't become. So AstroNumero Life Coaching is something where we use the concepts of astrology, numerology, and use it to the benefit of an individual through life coaching.
So it's basically like bringing the best of three worlds together, right? Based on science, rooted in science.
Rooted in science, and we also look at the planetary positions, right? So people have come to us. I'll give you an example without naming. Without naming, somebody from the Bay Area only came to us 3.5 years ago and said, I'm not doing well in my job and I want to take a career switch. And we said, do it. He said, what's a good time? We said, do it now. He did. He got, उस टाइम पे थोड़े ज़्यादा पैसे मिले नहीं, जो भी था, he whatever. And we eventually told him कि your goal is to become CEO of a very big company someday.
You could actually see it.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
We can see it. And we told him, अब तक हुआ नहीं है. No, it hasn't happened. But he's on his path.
He's on his path.
He's on his path. He's doing very well. He's, in your words, yes, he's a manager. But he's not leading 1 or 2 or 3. He's leading thousands of people in a company. A very big company. He's happy. He still comes in every month. We still have our conversations about what to do, what not to do. And he's completely confident he's going to get there. So you can come to us and say, you know, hamara, like for example, grocery store, one of the largest grocery stores in the country. They happen to come to me. They're based not in the Bay Area, but elsewhere. So वो आते रहते हैं from New Jersey, Chicago area, and we've told them how they will expand and how they're going to grow. Keep your visions also big. Keep your dreams big. You know, life में आपने accomplish बहुत कुछ करना है, but limitations भी होती हैं, steps भी होते हैं. You know, restaurant owners who've started a franchise basically, जिसके 20 to 30 franchises हैं, they came to us, and during COVID time, a lot of it shut down. But
Yes.
we gave them hope. Your growth is still up. You are going to suffer that downturn, and हुआ. Sometimes they get frustrated कि आपने ठीक से नहीं बताया कि इतना बड़ा step down होगा. We said it's bound to happen. जो हो गया हो गया. Yes, you did suffer a little, but look where you are today. You're in a better place, in a better position today than you were. So AstroNumero Life Coaching is what we do. It's very unique. It's very focused. In fact, it's a trademark I have, AstroNumero Life Coaching. You know, ये trademark है, and it's very hard to do.
Yeah, no, definitely. It sounds very like logical to me. That's the best part about it. तो मैं मेरे listeners को याद दिला दूं कि अगर आपके मन में भी questions है, जैसे मैंने पूछा about finding a soulmate, जो कि मेरा एक long standing question था कि soulmates होते हैं कि नहीं. Apparently the answer is yes. So anyway, if you have such ishki mishki questions or career related questions or any kind of life questions, please feel free to call our studio number, which is 510-770-1550. You are listening to the Dr. Saket Bhatia Show, the pragmatic show on astrology, life coaching and numerology. तो मैं एक question आपको पूछती हूँ. ये थोड़ा naughty question है, but I'm hoping you'll be a good sport and play along. Which is तो आपको तो इतना पता है, तो you can see things, and of course थोड़ा बहुत जब हमारी पहली मुलाकात हुई थी, आपने just मेरा face देख के कुछ guess कर लिया था कि do you rap and all of that, which is by the way true, and I had never told you about it, and you were just able to guess, and I was quite shocked, and I was actually asking Saiba कि तुमने बोला है क्या, and she said no. तो जब अगर आप dates पे जा रहे थे, romantic dates पे, so was it difficult for you to kind of completely focus on the date and the romantic nature of it, or things like कि इसके face पे क्या लिखा है, इसके भविष्य में क्या हुआ है, ये सब thoughts भी आते थे? Have you had successful dates?
Yes. Everybody has had successful dates, but unfortunately or fortunately, I didn't date that much.
Okay.
ना हमारे पास इतना time था. We were busy studying. We were busy doing our work. So when we met people, it was more, get to know the other individual. It wasn't like, oh, let's get into date, let's see how it works out. It's more like, okay, let's be comfortable. Let's see how a friendship goes. Because it has to start with friendship. ना? अगर friendship पे relationship करो तो अच्छी निभेगी.
True.
अगर unrealistic expectation लेके जाओगे, you'll be sad. धक्का लग जाता है. ये क्या हो गया? Right?
Yeah.
So, like I said, a doctor hota hai, he doesn't go on a date and look at a person and say, she's drinking wine or he's drinking beer and he's obese, he doesn't run. No, just go with a free mind. You never know what's going to hit you. Itna pata tha ki the right partner is not going to meet us now. Or he or she, jo bhi hai, is going to meet us after, 5 years, 10 years. ये तो पहले पता था.
तो जब पता था कि जब that phase when you are due to meet your soulmate, तब आप ज़्यादा ध्यान रखते थे अपने hair style and shaving patterns का and all of that.
Shaving pattern, yes, hair था ही नहीं, तो hair style was out of the question.
नहीं, मतलब अभी receding है, कभी तो होता होगा ना.
So coming back to astrology, right?
Yes.
I want to touch base on something which is very unique in astrology, which हम बात करेंगे next time. We want to talk about the birth chart. We want to talk about planets, right? बहुत myth busting करेंगे हम.
बहुत myth busting करेंगे, हाँ. That is the whole point.
Yeah.
Demystifying astrology, right?
लेकिन इस बार we want to talk about one thing. Number 108. 108.
108.
ये number, does that ring a bell?
So the bell that it rings in my mind is कि दुर्गा माँ के 108 names है. यही मेरे mind में आ रहा है अभी.
So God has, in Hinduism, God has 108 names. जब कृष्ण भगवान थे, उनके 108 गोपियाँ थी that used to go around him. 108 is a very religious number in Hinduism, Jainism, in Christianity, and some other religions. Buddhism also, 108. Vedic Astrology में तो बहुत ही important number है. जब हम माला जपते हैं, तो उसमें 108 होता है.
जी.
तो people ask कि 108 का क्या है? There are 9 planets. And 12 घर है एस्ट्रोलॉजी में. 12 times 9 कितना हुआ? 108. नक्षत्र होते हैं ना? There are 27 nakshatra, and each nakshatra means the moon going around the earth. The path it takes, we divide it into 27 parts. And each of them has 4 padas. We'll come into that later. What is 27 times 4? 108. The diameter of the sun is 108 times the diameter of Earth. The distance of the sun from the Earth is 108 times the diameter of the sun. The distance from Earth to Moon is 108 times the diameter of the Moon. इसलिए जब eclipse होता है, the Moon can completely cover the sun.
तो इक्लिप्स जब इक्लिप्स होता है तो लोग बहुत डर जाते हैं. देयर आर लॉट ऑफ मिथ्स अगेन दैट आर रिलेटेड टू इक्लिप्स. तो एस्ट्रोलॉजी के लेंस से क्या होता है ये ग्रहण?
So Grahan simply there's Grahan to keeps taking place every now and then, right? When the sun is completely overcast by the moon, we call it a Grahan. जब ऐसा चीज होती है then the astrologer gets nervous और वो कहेगा कि oh it's not a good time. आपकी लाइफ में सफरिंग तो होगी. It could be you lose your partner, early death, you could become a widow or a widower, बच्चों का सुख नहीं मिलेगा, संपत्ति चली जाती है. Not true. It's not at all true. There is not one factor in a chart that determines that. There are many, many factors. आप एक चीज पे नहीं कर सकते. Yes, a grahan is not considered auspicious. We understand that. But आप बताइए कि अगर किसी की फैमिली में बच्चा पैदा हुआ है, is it inauspicious? कि वो ग्रहण पे पैदा हुआ?
No.
It's auspicious. I know kids who were born during an eclipse that are perfectly healthy, they're perfectly married, good careers, doing well in life, they have kids of their own. Does that defy? No. ये आपके दिमाग में डाल दिए. मैंने पहले भी कहा था, the problem with astrology is the astrologer. वो ग्रहण का दिखा के they'll scare you.
Fear. Yeah.
Fear डाल दो तो you have to do it. देखिए आप जब डॉक्टर के पास जाते हैं, आप कहते हैं, you know, how is my health? And he's explained stuff to you, na? Look at your charts. They'll even
Right.
send the report to you.
Right.
And then you're going to ask you, what do I do for it? Have a healthy diet. So why don't you ask your astrologer that? डर वाली क्या बात है? Feel free to ask. It's your life. You should have control on it, right?
Yeah, I think that is the point that you're I think aiming to debunk, right? The myth, the mystery, because people always are so driven by fear and conditioning. वो पहले से ही डर जाते हैं. And एक बार if they lead with fear, if like for example, I can imagine myself going to an astrologer who's scary and who's not unlike you, they're not as friendly, and पहले ही उसने मुझे डरा दिया कि तुम्हारा तो दशा बहुत खराब है, तुम्हारा तो कुछ नहीं होने वाला है, तो मैं पहले से ही डर जाऊंगी. एंड बिना कुछ पूछे ही कि क्यों आप बोल रहे हैं, आप मुझे दिखाइए एंड शो मी द रिपोर्ट्स, लाइक यू नो सिमिलर टू मेडिकल एक्सरे रिपोर्ट. आई बी लाइक आप मुझे हेल्प कीजिए. Help me get out of this mess. And I think that fear consumes you even before you're able to logically determine what is this person saying. And not just astrologers, there are a lot of people that do that to you also. You must have heard about these scammers, right? Like they call you and they basically tell you aapka green card application mein ye missing hai, and they actually scam them out of thousands of dollars. And it's
unfortunate.
Yeah.
But देखिए astrology में the astrologer is never going to tell you like that. वो बोलेगा that's the way they'll typically talk, and we've seen this in cases. Is it's a very strong chart. बहुत हो सकता है लेकिन एक प्रॉब्लम है.
अच्छा.
वो जो एक प्रॉब्लम है वो हम फिक्स कर देंगे, right? That's how it starts. Nobody starts by saying ये तो चार्ट ही खराब है. No. It's always a good chart. Trick. It's sad.
It's sad.
It's sad.
Yeah.
When you come to me, and I will make you sit in the office and I'll show you your chart. We'll show you not just the degrees of planets, but we'll show you the aspects on the planet. We'll show you strengths. Abhi, if you're in good company, you become good, right? If you, let's say, आप school जाते हो, you have good friends that are studying all the time, you will study too. Even if you're a bad student, आप पढ़ तो लोगे.
Satsang.
So what happens in astrology is planets that are weak or not in good dignity, we call them, that are not in good placement, they can get boosts from other planets जो उनके friends हैं.
Oh.
And if that concept is not seen, it's a problem, right? Divisional charts discuss करेंगे next time.
हाँ, I was going to go to divisional charts, लेकिन अब शायद हमारे पास ज़्यादा वक्त नहीं है. 5 minutes बाकी है.
But I can talk briefly.
Definitely. Please give us your parting message for the listeners this week.
So divisional charts are important. जैसे हम blood test करते हैं, cholesterol test करते हैं, urine test करते हैं. Same way we have to look at divisional charts. If you come to me and say how much money I'm going to make, we have to see the Hora chart. The second divisional chart होती है. अगर बच्चों का देखने, we have to see the D4 chart. So these divisional charts are built on, and they are fine-tuned of the main chart. Divisional charts cannot ever oppose the main chart. लेकिन they have their own strength. So if a planet is very strong in the main chart, or divisional chart में weak है, a lot of the promise will be lost. Divisional charts again don't contradict the main chart. They don't enhance it. They give you mental satisfaction. आप समझते हैं? So divisional charts are critical in astrology. 20 charts होती हैं. You have to study them. They will tell you everything about your kids, your family, your health, planets की strength. सब पढ़ना पड़ता है. Without that, it is not possible, impossible to actually do proper astrology.
You have to do your homework. You have to understand where you are, where you want to be, and actually have the study materials.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
doctors also, what separates one doctor from the other, it's not just which school he's gone to. It doesn't mean which degree he has.
Oh no, not
It's
at all.
experience.
Yeah.
Experience matters.
Experience, and also the nature, right? Because a lot of doctors, like, they're very impatient and all of that, and they won't. Maybe they're the best doctors, but if you don't take the
Sure.
time to explain that to your patient, I'm not going to come back to you.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Right, so, and last time I said कि जो astrologer बोलता है आपके दिमाग में रह जाता है. Right? If we leave this show and I tell you you're going to do extremely well,
Please
this
tell
year
me
is going
that.
to, which I am, because you keep smiling, you're always happy. So you have this aura, like you make other people feel happy. So if you're going to be happy, you keep people happy, अच्छी चीजें होंगी. But if somebody tells you ये तो साल ही खराब जाएगा, अगले 5 साल खराब जाएंगे, आपकी तो life ही खराब होने वाली है. The only solution is you have to do something, which as an astrologer I say, ये गलत है. It's going to come back and bite me sometime. ये कर्मा है.
कर्मा है.
ये तो आता है. इस जन्म में नहीं आएगा, अगले में आएगा, but chances are इसी जन्म में आता है. You will see many astrologers, many who go through hardship and suffering in life. Why?
Yeah.
Why? In fact, I don't know how some astrologers make a career out of it. I can't. देखिए, you have to, एक chart, when I read a chart, it takes me about 2 hours. So I tell a person, send your chart and some questions you can before, तुम पढ़ के बता सकते हैं. But some people who read 8 charts, 10 charts, 20 charts a day, it's fundamentally impossible.
Fundamentally impossible, yeah.
आप इतनी mistakes करोगे. That's what I call bending the astrology rules, where astrologer अपना ही डाल देते हैं अंदर.
हाँ.
आपका ये strong है, ये weak है, without understanding कि rules के जो rules थे, they cannot be bent.
हाँ.
It's like green light means go, red means stop. Simple. You cannot go on red thinking कि यार निकल जाएंगे. ऐसा नहीं होता. There are rules.
Yeah, and actually that reminded me something. जब मैं शुरू में I started my job, my career, fresh out of college, computer science degree. मैं मेरे project manager को देख रही थी ना, बहुत ऐसे numbers दे रहा है कि इसमें इतना budget लगेगा, इसमें इतना budget लगेगा, इसमें इतना budget लगेगा, because they were in terms in the phase of budget planning. तो मैं बहुत I try to backtrack, I try to read up a lot, and I was like, where are you getting these numbers from? तो वो मुझे बोलते रहा PFM. For the longest time, he said PFM. And then I was like, okay, what is this PFM? And I'm going to use a bad word now. He said pure magic. And I'm like, oh my God. So that's what happens. So I'm sure, you need to do your absolute research and be prepared. But on that note, हमारा वक्त अभी खत्म हो रहा है. It's going to, the clock is going to strike 5 p.m. तो मैं याद दिला दूं, this was the Dr. Saket Bhatia Show, the pragmatic show on astrology, numerology, and life coaching. You can visit his website at saketbhatia.com. If you want to give him a call and ask him more questions, that number is 408-639-5300. And you can also feel free to email him at info@saketbhatia.com. With that, we're going to wrap up today's show. Like Saket, she always says, be optimistic, be in the pursuit of happiness, and life will automatically be better. See you again Tuesday, 4 to 5.
Thank you.